It's the sound of Miracles. It's from the Pet Shop Boys, who are sat here right in front of me now. I've got Neil, we have Chris. I was just saying, when I told my children I was going to speak to you, they went, God, you're always talking to the Pet Shop Boys.
And
that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Just, last time was in Salford.
Yes.
We don't say Manchester.
No.
When we were doing the BBC Philharmonic concert, which you introduced.
How do you look back at that? Because it was such a wonderful night.
Oh, it was a great night. I mean, to have this massive orchestra behind you, and we had Johnny Marr, of course, as well. It was exciting. Actually, it was rather nerve-wracking beforehand. Sitting in front of all those people about to sing is it's a bit professional, isn't it?
You were definitely putting yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yes,
and I could
totally.
See, yeah. Chris?
Yeah, no, it was an amazing experience. Because they're such great musicians. And the choir, of course, we don't normally get to perform with a large choir. And we got to perform some new songs and old songs. And also just having Johnny play with you is just, fantastic.
And the family were there as well, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, my mum was there.
Your mum was there, that's it, Chris,
she's coming to see us again when we play soon, so...
So she's hardcore.
Oh yes, she likes all the hard electronic stuff.
Does she have an opinion about whether it's a good show or a bad show, or what does she kind of feedback does she give?
Well, she normally really enjoys it. So
just says, "Oh, Chris, that was lovely."
Yes, I don't normally get much negative criticism.
No. So the album, congratulations, it's called Electric. You've worked with Stuart Price. Tell us about how you came to make this kind of an album, why you settled on Stuart as the producer, for example.
Well, when we were writing the last album, Elysium, we actually wrote a lot of much more up dance songs, but we decided we wanted Elysium to be this very reflective, beautiful Los Angeles album, and we thought, well, when we've done that, we'll do a dance album. We know Stuart quite well, but we've never really worked with them, and we played him these songs and he really, really liked them. And then we ended up, while working on another project, writing some more dance songs, and suddenly we realised we had a full album, and rather than this be some sort of side project, it was going to be the Pet Shop Boys' next official album, coming really quite soon after the last one, which was early September.
Very, very swift. It's not what people do these days.
No, but as I keep saying, Heroes came 9 months after Low, David Bowie.
So that's how people should be thinking of this album.
Well, not really, because Heroes and Low are sort of stylistically related, where these are stylistically completely and utterly different. And often we bounce away from what we've just done to do the exact opposite. And I think that's sort of what's happened here.
And this is a banging album, really banging, like hard dance floor album.
Yeah, well, a lot of this was also inspired by the fact that, so was it on Twitter I don't know where this person wrote this comment, but they said that they'd like our next show to be more banging and with more strobes.
Okay.
And so when we thought the next show was going to be that, we thought we might as well have the music to go with it as well. And we'd worked with Stuart on programming the previous tour, and he was also going to work with us on this, so we then integrated working on the new songs for this album into the reworking of the old songs for the show, so it all sort of seemed to fit, and we had a very strong idea of what the show was going to be, with lasers, strobes, lighting, it all being very electric, and so we basically made an album that is the soundtrack to that show.
And Miracles, which we played just before I started talking to you, that features as well in this show.
It does. That's the moment where the lasers first appear. And the great thing about lasers is that when you're on stage, you actually get to see a show yourself, because normally all the lighting is on the stage and you're just looking out into darkness, whereas when you have lasers, the whole place becomes magical.
We get a show too.
Yeah, so it's more enjoyable for you.
Yeah, it is.
It's okay.
I'm going to choose the second track on the album, which is called Bolshi.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's okay.
I'm going to choose the second track on the album, which is called Bolshi.
Oh, good. I'm glad you've chosen this one. Tell us about this.
We've been writing this other project, about Alan Turing. We did a bit in the BBC concert, and we went to write the last section of it, and the first thing we did was write this song. Chris had some music, and I just started singing this vocal refrain, Bolshi, Bolshi, Bolshi. And then with Stuart, as Bolshi, short for Bolshevik, we put all these Russian samples in it. It's an unusual song, but it's very, very up. It's got a great build-up in the middle. I don't know, it makes me feel very happy.
It's quite hypnotic as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really gets inside your head.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll play it then. This is Bolshi from the Pet Shop Boys, the album Electric. It's Bolshi from the Pet Shop Boys, who are here with me now. I've got Neil and Chris. So your relationship with dance music, there's always been that association. It feels like you're probably in your element with this album.
Yeah, a lot of the songs take elements from our past, but they combine it with very new recording techniques. So it's very much a collaboration of us and Stuart Price, and Stuart also is very familiar with our early work as well. So, and he's got all these old analog synthesizers, but he's very, very good at manipulating sound and producing all these crazy sort of acid effects and all sorts sorts of things, and he gives it a lot of energy. So, and we have a lot of influence, like bell sounds and orchestra hits and cowbell. So a lot of the elements and beautiful chords, all those elements are there, sort of combined with a very modern sound.
And the people that you've got working on this album, you were saying Example is on this album.
Yeah, Example. We wrote this track called Thursday, and in the studio with Stuart, we decided we should have a rap on it, and we actually dug out on the internet an a cappella of Nicki Minaj.
Oh.
And put that on. It sounded great, actually. And we were making a list of rappers, and a few weeks later, Stuart mentioned he was working with Example. And we said, well, he's a rapper. See if you'll do Thursday. And so Stuart said, oh, great idea, I will. And Example came and said, yeah, he'd do it if he could sing. And
yeah, he's quite keen on singing.
Yeah, actually, he's a good singer.
He's a really good singer.
And he went away for a couple of weeks and then came back. And the rap is really great. It's, to my ears, it's almost like a Sugar Hill rap. It's got that smooth, rhythmic, rather than a kind of modern sort of ego rap. And then he goes into this new melody, and this whole part he wrote over the track. And then when he'd done that, we came back in and we wrote a new chorus to match his tune. So it was very much a collaborative process for them.
Yeah, and then performing it live with him, what's that like?
Well, we perform that song every night in the show, but he just appears as a video projection. But when we performed at the O2 in London, we were lucky enough that he was actually in London, and he came on and performed it live. And that's the first time we'd met him, actually. And he's fantastic,
What's he like with the audience? How does it,
Oh, well, he has a very different technique or style with it. I mean, what did he say?
There couldn't be a stronger contrast than...
Yeah. Ours is very understated, our performance. And,
he comes on and says, make some noise for the Pet Shop Boys and all of that.
It's really great. We could do with an MC during our show, really.
Yeah, I was saying...
It's a very different concept.
I was saying to someone that when we saw Chase and Status in Berlin, they have an MC who uses a swear word I won't say, but he basically says, Chase and Status, make some noise. And someone said, why don't you get Janet Street Porter?
Oh, that would be amazing. I can hear it now. You've also covered Bruce Springsteen track on this album, Last to Die. Tell me about that.
Well, my sister had said there was this great Bruce Springsteen song, quite a new one.
We're all very puzzled as to why.
I don't know why she was listening to this.
Bruce Springsteen.
She was like, I know, actually, Joe, I must ask her, because I'm singing later. Must ask her. But anyway, she said this is a great song, and she didn't say, oh, you should do a cover version of it, but we played it and just thought, oh yeah, I can totally see how this would make a great Pet Shop Boys record, because it has very beautiful chords. It had a great guitar riff, which is now a vocal riff, and also lyrically, it's very emotional. And if you put Four on the Floor, and then add Stuart Price into the mix, you've got a sort of
it's
the
a
ultimate
cocktail.
Yes, exactly.
Well, actually, if you put Brandon Flowers on, it would be the Killers. I've got to be honest. Pet Shop Boys doing Bruce Springsteen, produced by Stuart Price, pretty much is the Killers.
Equals Killers,
yes,
without a shadow of a doubt. Do you still go clubbing? Do you still go dancing?
Well, not so much. Last time was in Bogota. Went to a club in Bogota in Colombia, and it was a reggaeton night, and it was just fantastic. We couldn't leave because it was just, the music was just so infectious. Everyone was smiling. We kept saying, well, we're going to have to go, we've got a show tomorrow, and then another record would start. I think, no, can't leave just yet. And it was just really great.
Do you dance? Sorry, do you dance?
Well, it was impossible not to. You couldn't possibly keep still. All the bar staff everyone was dancing, and people entering the room would suddenly start to move as they were walking through the floor. So it was just, it's just all about the music. It was fantastic.
Do you feel reinvigorated with this album? Do you feel like, because it feels incredibly relevant and like it's just not, it doesn't stand out, you feel like you fit completely into the musical landscape at the moment?
Like anything, that sort of look, but we definitely felt invigorated making it. It wasn't like it was a sort of career pressure thing. We decided to leave Parlophone earlier this year. We weren't thinking about, what's the single and all that stuff. We were thinking a little bit about the tour, so it was going to be banging. And we were with Stuart. He kind of encourages you to do what you want to do, to be a bit experimental.
Okay, let's have another track from the album.
All right, well, I'll choose Thursday, which is a track with Example on it.
Lovely.
This has sort of got a bit of an 80s New York feel to it. It's got a sort of little funky bell line and things, and it's about simply about going out on a Thursday night, which is the new Friday in London until it changes to Wednesday, I assume, but at the moment it's still Thursday, I think. And it's just a simple romantic love song. It's got very nice romantic lush chords and things.
Okay, let's play it.
Very dancey then. Yeah.
Very dancey. This is Thursday then.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Stay with me.
It's Thursday, and that's from the new album from Pet Shop Boys, which is called Electric. So from here on in, for the rest of the year, what's your schedule like, your diary?
Well, we're touring throughout till the end of July, and then we have a tiny break, and then we go to the Far East. We're going to China, Japan, Singapore, Philippines the first time.
Do you
Indonesia.
choose?
No, I think people sometimes think that when a band tours, they choose where to go. Where you go is where you get offers to play.
Okay, fine.
But what's quite interesting is we've had offers to play places we've never been before.
Like
China. We've been turned down playing in China before. But now we're going to Beijing and Shanghai, so that's going to be exciting.
Why were you turned down?
I don't know, actually.
Controversial.
We had a controversial moment with our album, Yes.
Okay.
With some of the lyrics on it. Anyway, we're going there, and then we come back for a few days, and then we tour North America.
Wow.
Canada, the USA, and then up Mexico.
Is that not exhausting? Do you not look at that and think, oh my gosh?
Sounds it, doesn't it?
Does a bit.
Do you know what? It's better to think about.
Well,
Just go with the flow.
We were in Chile, just over 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then we ended up in Russia, and so the jet lag was quite severe for quite a while. I think we've only just about got back to normal now.
I'm always intrigued about packing when you go on tour and kind of speak to various bands about it. And I'd imagine with you, do you?
Well, yeah, too many T-shirts. You think, I'm going to need at least 2 weeks worth of T-shirts, and you only ever wear the same 7.
And I do things like, I think I better take 3 smart jackets and a load of proper shirts, and that because I better take 3 ties. And then they sit there, every hotel, I take them out and hang them up, and then we leave the hotel, they're still in the suitor, and they get put back in the case. So I'm trying to learn, but I'll do it again next time.
Neil's got a massive suitcase. It's like a trunk.
Along Elton John lines, are you you're not as bad as Elton?
No. No, we're nothing like that. We have 1 bag each.
Oh my gosh.
But
precisely packed, I'd imagine.
Very precisely packed. But there's always jeans lurking at the bottom like that, never get worn and things like that.
Okay, and what do you do when you walk into a hotel room? Because there are certain rituals I think people do when they go into
My
rooms.
ritual is to check that you can turn the air conditioning off.
Yeah.
I don't like the noise, and also I don't like the chill, really. And also to check that it's not noisy. Chris wrote a checklist of 12 points for booking a hotel room for us. It's just based on experience.
Yeah.
And in fact, anyone who tours would totally agree with it. It's things like, don't be next to the lift, don't be over the road, over the corridor from the service entrance.
Yep.
Can you turn the air conditioning off? Can you open the window?
What else?
We don't like to overlook an internal atrium.
Yeah.
Why? It's a bit claustrophobic.
You get a room
you want the
that overlooks the inside. It's a bit
okay, yeah, no, you want to see
a room below the air conditioning plant.
Because if you're on the top floor, you've got all the noise of that.
Some hotels are also party venues, and they have a party playing till 4 in the morning, and you're on the floor just above it. And, all you hear is the thud of the bass.
The hotel mustn't be in the process of being renovated. You can arrive at a hotel, and the whole thing is covered in scaffolding with drilling going on 24/7.
Yeah. I can tell that you've been through all of these.
We've
experienced
been
every single one of them.
a lot of it. I always feel sorry for our tour manager.
It's lovely to see you again. No doubt we'll talk more before the end of this year. But
Yes,
well done with the
so.
album. It's a great album.
Thank you very
enjoyed it.
much.
Thank you.